That is, yeah.
Gotta find them.
All
Carson,
right.
where you at? You there?
While Claudia is pinning our guest, one thing that's on my heart I want to share with you guys really quickly. I read a statistic this morning: 4% of Americans make under $100,000 a year. 4% make over $100,000 a year. 4% of Americans make over $100,000 a year, and 2% of those individuals, 2% of Americans make over $200,000 a year. And $1 million a year is about 0.1%, 0.1%. So when I read that, I was like, dang. So if you're on the Zoom call right now and you want to be that person that's making over $1 million a year, what does that mean? That means you need to become the person that is that 0.10% individual. That's why it's so important to make sure you guys are prioritizing your personal development every single day. Dude, if I took all of the managers on this call that are running decent sized sales teams and I took all of the top producers, I promise you they're all prioritizing their personal development. Every single one of them. And so for all of you guys, that's like, am I consuming, trainings? Am I consuming knowledge? That's why we put out the 2 Minute Tuesday trainings every week. Shout out to all you guys for hopping on this call, looking to sharpen your sword. Are you guys personally developing, putting in the work, building up yourself, and becoming the individual that can manage the level of stress that it takes and have the work ethic it takes to become that individual? So that's my message for you today. Guys, I'm fired up for this guest. He doesn't need intro. You already know who he is. But if you don't, Carson, dude, Carson's just the guy. I don't know what to say other than I don't know a single person that doesn't that dislikes Carson. Nobody doesn't like you, bro. So
Yeah, I mean, probably some people, but
nobody I've ever talked to. So
yeah,
he's the man. Carson, how
probably just
much
not
did
from this
you
company.
That's a good point. Carson,
Yeah.
how much did you produce this last year?
Last year, I just issue paid 310,000. So pretty good year. I started in almost a year ago, today, actually. Coming up on my full year of Pinnacle.
Let's
So
go.
back ends are starting to hit. That's been nice.
How does that feel?
It's been cool. A lot of American home life.
Let's go. The
Yeah.
renewals on those are nice too.
Oh yeah. Just it's good. Good stuff. I'm excited.
Absolutely. Carson, to let's just dive into it, my brother. So you were this close to President's Club this last year. When
Mhm.
I'm in AZ, we're shaving your head, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
So we gotta it's coming. It's coming. What is your goal to produce this year?
800,000 and issue paid premium. I want to beat your record.
Let's go. Let's
Yeah.
go. I want you to beat it. I
Yeah.
want you to beat it.
I'm on
What it
track, I think. I think I'm doing pretty good.
so to elaborate off of that, two questions.
Yeah.
My second question is going to be what is your plan? Like, what is your lead spend schedule? Break down the whole blueprint to hit that. But
Hmm.
before we get to that, I mean, bro, one thing I love about you is just your tenacity and your heart to win. And that's pretty apparent to anybody that knows you. And that's why I really enjoyed getting to know you and developing a relationship. So it wasn't always that way. So talk to us about what your mindset was when you first came into this business and how
Hmm.
it's changed in order to allow you to have success.
Yeah, 100%. First of all, thank you for having me, Jonah. Really do appreciate it. But really, when I first came into this business and when I was, heard about the insurance space, I just wanted to make sure that I could survive, right? I came into here, background of just a 9 to 5. Moved out to Arizona when I was 19, so 3 years ago. I was a very scared kid. I was very scared of like what could happen. Every single person in my life, whether it was family or friends from back home, they told me that I'm going to fall on my face and I'm going to be back in 3 months. Like that's what essentially like family even told me to. Like, hey, I'll see you in 3 months. And it's funny too, like as I reflect on that, I realized that I almost actually like they almost like spoke it into existence for me. Like I remember 3 months into Arizona, like um, I saved up a ton of bread and like
You paid the
I was
extra
just
top dollar.
I was just excited to, get this new journey of life on because I don't know about a lot of you guys, but how I grew up very, very not wealthy, very, very middle class. And if you guys know the middle class, right, it's the families we talk to every single day. They're extremely hardworking. They extremely care about their family, right? And that's the family that I grew up with. My mom was a trooper. She took care of everything for me. I didn't have to worry a single thing in the world, right? I could have lived there until I was 40 and I would have been fine. My mom would not have cared. That's just how my mom is, right? Midwest family, if you guys are from the Midwest, that's how they are most of the time.
Thank God you're
Um,
not that 30-year-old dude still living
yeah,
in your mom's
thank
basement.
God, that's for sure. And but like what was always in my mind, like when I was getting out of high school, was just like I got to develop a very good mindset very early on. Because my dad wasn't really in the picture as much as I needed that father figure. So I had an older brother that was just kind of big into just mindset, self-development, and just getting like everything together. Like I remember I was smoking a ton of weed, I was hanging out with a ton of bad influence people in my life that were literally doing nothing and they still are doing nothing, right? Um, and like something just like flipped after COVID. Like it was wrestling. My brother kept telling me that Carson, you could be a state champ if you just believe in it. And I was just like, I always like wondered, like, can I actually do that? Like, is it actually possible if like I actually doing the work? And obviously COVID happened, right? And things changed, and we didn't end up having a senior year at all. And I was like, okay, wrestling's out the picture. What's next? What's next for me to work extremely hard about? Because he developed that in me during that time of COVID, to where I was reading the books, I was listening to the podcast, right? I was growing in myself, my body, physically, and for those that have seen my Instagram, I power lifted. I competitively power lifted for 3 years. That was the next thing for me. Was okay, I'm gonna learn a sport and I'm gonna learn a new thing and I'm gonna get really freaking good at it. I'm gonna become the best at it. That was my mindset going into powerlifting because of wrestling my whole life and seeing the results I had my junior and senior year of like that actual belief in myself. And it took off. Like I'm gonna be honest with you, I thought I was gonna be like, if you would have told me, Jonah, Carson, you're gonna be selling insurance and you're gonna be helping families out every day, I would have told you you're crazy. I would have thought I've been lifting weights at the world class level. I would have been the best 200-pound lifter there was, because that's what I believed in. Anyways, long story short, I don't want to get too off track, but moved out to Arizona, and my dream was to essentially become a creator of fitness and to become a world-class powerlifter and a coach and different things like that. And honestly, I couldn't realize like how much I was progressing in the sport, because powerlifting, for those of you, I mean, lifting in general, bodybuilding as well, it's a very, very, very slow progression. Like you're not gonna get there overnight. And I used to think that I was always so far ahead because I would constantly look at other people's lives or other lifters, and I would be like, wow, they are so much better than me. Like I'm never gonna be able to get there. But then I would flip the switch again, like that mindset I developed. Um, and when I came into this business, I was broker than broke. I was behind on rent, right? I was a month away from getting evicted. I had no money for leads, right? I didn't have any of that. I was in 5K of credit card debt, and that was the only credit card I had. I couldn't apply for a new one because they're not going to approve me. So I'm like, shoot. And I'm not asking mom and dad for money because they took care of me. That's not how I'm raised. Like I developed a mindset now to where I need to literally just flip a switch. And when I saw the insurance, I'm like, wait, you can make $1,000 a day? $1,000. I'm like, that's my rent. I need that, right? So then I flipped it, and then like I got by a little bit at another company, right? Got by and then connected with Kyle, right? And I was still broke. Like I was still broke. I was still scared. I was issue paying. I think my best month in that business when I was over there was 22K, and I think I deposited 6 grand. And like that's after, that's like lead expense next month, get ready, rent next month, get ready. Okay, I really only have 2 grand. Shit. Like I got to pick it up. And I'm thankful to be at Pinnacle because when I got here, I was pretty bad on the phones. I mean, Jonah, you saw it at the lock-in. Essentially, like when I came to Pinnacle, I knew it was my last powerlifting competition. I knew I wasn't going to do that. I knew I was going to go all in on insurance. and make this thing work just because of just the belief that other people had in me. And I'm just grateful to be here. And the mindset before I got into insurance, to answer your question full circle, to give a little background, was I was scared. I was more scared than ever.
Mm, mm. So, and I'll never forget that first lock-in we were at, where it's like you're grinding, and I could tell like you want to close and you're hungry, but you're frustrated and you're not getting there. And I saw your mindset. And what made the switch from, you're in your head, you're like, oh, I don't know if I could do this. I don't know if insurance is for me, to just throwing down and
Yeah.
becoming an absolute savage. What
Yeah.
was that flip? Because I like, we weren't together every day, but like dude, I saw it in you, like the way you
Yeah.
think, everything's different.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, big credit to you, Jordan. I'm gonna be honest with you, because like if you didn't look at me so serious like you do, and like it's obviously just like your personality, right? It's not like, you're a jerk, a dickhead or anything. You're a great person, right? It's just like you gave that look like, Carson, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like you got this. Like this lady needs your protection, right? I was 0 for 17 after that presentation. I left that lock in early because I need to go back to Phoenix. That's when my flight was booked. And you guys were giving away a shirt, right? You guys were giving a shirt for anyone that closes a deal. I didn't even care about the fucking shirt. I just wanted to show everyone that I can do this, right? That I can close a deal. I came from freaking insurance. I came from selling, 20K issue pay, even though it didn't pay me as good because it's, whatever. I came from insurance. Like I know I can do this. Um, and pretty much, moral of the story was I saw that lady in that situation. Like that picture finally like was clear to me. Like if she passed away, her family was screwed. And that just like that was like the hardest thing for me to sit in, but it was the best thing to sit in. Like these people actually need our help. Like you're a licensed agent. You got your insurance license for a reason. And it just clicked after that. Like honestly, like I don't even know how to explain it. It was like as soon as I got back from the lock-in, I closed 2 deals. Then it was literally a deal a day for the rest of April. And I deposited 10 grand for the first time in my whole life. It was absurd. It was crazy.
Let's go. Let's go. Guys, in case you missed it, I want to repeat something Carson said. He wasn't 0 for 3, 0 for 5. It wasn't even 0 for 10. He was 0 for 17. Drop an emoji in the chat if you're a brand new agent, never haven't really been in insurance for very long, and you're 0 for 17, if you would keep grinding and keep going and be honest. So
Yeah,
that's
and one more thing to touch on, Jonah, like with that, like, dude, like I was spending money on leads. Like it wasn't like I wasn't spending money either. Like I spent like I got rinsed on like I think like it was like 500 leads or something like that. It was crazy. Like I spent like almost 2 grand on leads. Like I was in a worse position when I got back to Phoenix, Arizona to lock in with the guys in the office than I was when I came into this business originally. When I came in like a month behind rent, I had more money to my name, even though I was a month behind on rent, versus when I had my bills taken care of and I spent money on leads and I came back in April, like I had less than $1,000 to my name. And then more debt was rolling up from another insurance company that, and it was a mess. I was scared. It was crazy. Like there's more to it, right? Um, and it flipped, dude. And it was amazing to see because that I was still working the same freaking leads. I still am.
yeah, yeah. The leads didn't change, you did.
Yeah, exactly. Like still any proven doesn't matter. Like doesn't matter. I don't
The
care.
leads don't suck, you do.
Exactly.
Man, I gotta say, brother, I'm so proud of you because if you guys at the award ceremony, I know you had to fly back, but you won 2 awards. And one of
Yeah.
those awards was the Integrity Award. And
Mhm.
I saw it in you because I can tell you exactly what shifted was, and you said it. You went from being scared, rent's due, I need to make a sale, thinking about myself, to, oh wow, these are real human beings. These are real families on the other line. These
Mhm.
families actually need my help, and what we're doing is really important. And so talk to your mindset now about, like, what's going through your head, and kind of like give us a picture of that with each family you talk to and each family you help.
Yeah, I really paint the picture as clear as day for him. Like, John, if if you passed away yesterday, like, and I'm big on yesterday. I don't want to speak anything into existence here. We don't know if we have tomorrow. Like, what does that situation actually look like for your family? And then they answer, right? Another thing that like I really do really good as I really show that like, hey, I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm not a sales agent. I'm a licensed medical underwriter. Again, my job is to help and serve you correctly. So we can't
Mm,
even figure out if something's gonna make sense for you if I can't figure out if I can even actually help and serve you. And that's my job, John. My job, John, is to make sure I can help and serve you correctly and get you with the carrier that's going to be the best fit for you. And like they feel that, right? Because they don't see me. So they feel that. They understand that, like, oh, wow, this guy, he's just trying to help and serve me. He's not trying to do anything. He's trying to look at all the insurance companies we work with and give me the best deal based on my medical and financial situation. So that way, Mary, she's taken care of.
it's so good. Just having the right heart posture towards
Mhm.
these families over the phone. And some of you may have heard me share this before, but it's you need to have the right thoughts that lead you towards success in the business. And so my thought process and my mindset with every single person I talk to was this person's gonna die tomorrow, and I'm the only person that knows. And you might say, well, Jonah, what if they don't pass? Well, it's like, what if they do? Because every single one of you on the Zoom call, dude, if you guys have been calling for, even if you're new, if you've been calling for any period of time, we all run into the families. We all know the families that we call them and they say, my husband passed away 2 weeks ago. You're too late. And those are real phone calls. Most of you guys have had those calls. And so when you have that mindset and that mentality of, this family is going to pass away and they genuinely need my help. It's like, who cares? What are they going to tell you? F off? Who cares? Who cares? So it's, just less about you and more about putting yourself in the client's shoes and putting yourself in their position, and having a heart to help and serve them and carrying that mentality and that heart posture forwards with the families you help.
You know what's crazy, Jonah? I had two appointments today in the morning. Um, One of them called me and they said, Carson, my nephew just had a stroke. I gotta go. I got a family member, right? It may not have been the person I was helping, but it just shows that like, dude, anything can happen anyway. He was 34 and he had a stroke, right? And then two, I called a lady that filled out a form and she told me to call her now. Called her. Well, she told me to call her last night, but I was already out the office. She filled out the form at like 10 p.m. Last night. Called her this morning. She said my husband died an hour ago. Like no joke.
Mm,
Crazy. Her husband was her beneficiary listed. Just makes you
man.
think, like what are we actually doing here? Like, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Carson, if we took a survey of all the agents on this call and asked them, where are you struggling the most in your presentation? The majority of them would answer either in the financial inventory or building the why.
Hmm.
And it's been a while since we've done a good role play on the call. So
Yeah,
you down to role play those two sections?
of course. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, let's do it. We don't need to start with the intro or all that. Like, let's just jump right into the financial inventory and break down the exact track words you use to like dig into the pain points, build the why, and then help that family.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You just kick it off, just start off with your date of birth, right?
Yep. Date of birth is 10/26/69.
1969. Gotcha. Man, Jonah, you sound like you're in your 30s. That's
Yeah, well,
you
age is
must
just a state of mind. I stay healthy, I stay active.
yeah, absolutely. You must be doing pretty good health wise. I mean, any like heart attack, stroke, or cancer?
Yeah, I was no cancers or no strokes. I did have a heart attack about 10 years ago.
Oh wow.
So this is a little bit of
Wow.
a wake-up call. So now I've been really taking care of myself.
Wow. Any stents put in you with that heart attack, or was it just the heart attack?
I had a stint.
Stent put in. Okay, gotcha. So that was 10 years ago. I mean, how were you doing before that? I mean, you sound like you're doing great, but were you like pretty healthy before that?
Yeah, it just came out of nowhere.
Oh wow. So that kind of just happened out of nowhere and you weren't expecting that at all and you were taking good care of yourself, right?
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. So
Yeah.
that's probably another reason, why we want to make sure that Claudia is protected if something happens again, like a heart attack, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, gotcha. And then what's a good height and weight?
5'7", 165.
Okay, perfect. And then you're not, are you a smoker or not a smoker?
Non-smoker.
Okay, good. My father always told me just don't ever start. Okay, gotcha. And then you're obviously retired, right? Being your age, they don't got you still working.
Nope, they don't got me still working. I retired
Oh,
5 years ago.
oh, I'm good. Glad. I hope I retire at your age as well. They might have me keep working though, but and then let me see here.
You
I'm just
sound
gonna
like a busy young man.
yeah, yeah, no, I got a lot of families that deal with every day. But I love it. I love what I do, and I'm just trying to help and serve every family correctly. Now, Jonah, just some other medical conditions. I know we probably got some medications, but I just want to go over some conditions. Any diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol.
I do have high blood pressure.
Okay, got you. Just taking like a lisinopril, losartan, probably.
Yeah, it's just a lisinopril.
Okay, perfect. And then any like I know you said that heart attack. Did you have any like blood clots, blood thinner medications prescribed to you, anything like that?
No, no meds, just a stint, and then I was good to go.
Awesome, good. And then last few conditions here: neuropathy, kidney disease, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, HIVs, STDs.
Nope, nothing.
Yeah. Gotcha. So you're doing pretty good health wise, other than the heart attack 10 years ago, and then no DUIs or felonies, right?
Correct.
Okay, good. You're just causing your wife some trouble here and there, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
you can say
perfect.
that.
Gotcha. And then estimated monthly income. What's a rough ballpark of how much money you bring in a month?
Bringing in about 6 grand a month.
6 grand a month. And then how much does Claudia bring in a month, income wise?
She brings in 3,000.
3,000. Okay, gotcha. Okay, and then she's just on Social Security, I assume.
Yes, she is.
And then you're on Social Security and your retirement plan, right?
Yes, that'd be correct.
Okay, gotcha. And how much do you bring in just from Social Security?
I bring in 4,000 from Social Security.
4,000 for Social Security. Okay. Are you aware if like something happens to you, if like your wife gets the full Social Security, or is she only going to get half of it, like what most folks get?
I thought I'm pretty sure she's getting all of it.
Okay, gotcha. You might want to look more into that. Most of the families that I help out, whoever makes kind of most Social Security, usually only get about half of it. Obviously, she's probably going to get that retirement plan, that you're getting, you said, about 3 grand from. So, um, but I'm assuming like if something did happen to you, um, yesterday, she'd be, and correct me if I'm wrong, but she'd be down, negative 3,000 a month in income wise.
I
Does that sound
mean,
about right?
I thought she'd be getting both our Social Securities.
Oh no, it's only one or the other. Uncle Sam, unfortunately, does not give both of them. You're only going to get one. He needs his fair share, and the unfortunate truth is that, and I know you don't know this, but you can look it up on the internet or whatever you do. But that Social Security, it's either going to be one or the other. So most of the families, because my grandmother went through this with my grandpa, she was only actually able to get my grandpa's Social Security, just because he made majority of the Social Security. Does that make sense?
Oh wow. So Claudia's only going to be getting 4 grand a month.
Yeah. So essentially, she'd be down negative $3,000 a month income wise. Does that sound about right?
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Okay, gotcha. And how much money roughly do you guys have left over right now?
It's pretty tight, to be honest with you.
Is it like over 500, or is it between like 1,000?
It's probably between 1,000.
Okay, gotcha. So that would probably put her in a really tight hole if something did happen to you yesterday. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
I'd say so.
Okay, gotcha. Hey, and again, Joan, I'm just here to help and serve you. And let's figure out what we can do for you. What's your mortgage balance?
189.
189. Gotcha. Okay. And then do you know what you would sell the home if you were to, like, let's say fire sell it today?
Oh man, we haven't got it appraised in years. We haven't gotten appraised since we refinanced.
Okay. No worries. I can look up that address. It's the 123 Main Street, right?
Yep, you got
Okay,
it.
perfect. It looks like it's valued at around 250. We'll say 230, just in case like it's a little bit less than what my end's showing. So about, roughly about $50,000 of equity in that home, which is good to have. Always just have that noted that you got $50,000 of equity. And just remember that equity, the more you pay off that mortgage, the more the equity is actually going to go up in price. Okay? Does that make sense?
Oh wow, I didn't
Yeah.
know I had that much equity.
Yeah, no, it's
That's pretty
probably
good. That's
super
good to know.
important that we protect that equity and make sure that the banks don't try to come in and foreclose on your home, right?
Yeah, Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
perfect. And then what's your mortgage payment a month?
It's 1560,
15.
$1,560.
Gotcha. And that's after like taxes, property taxes, homeowners, right?
Yep, that's everything.
That's everything. Okay, that's the full mortgage bill. Okay, gotcha. And then, do you have any assets set aside? I know you're on a retirement plan. Any 401k, IRA, stocks, bonds, that you would be able to liquidate in case of like a medical or financial emergency?
I've got 30,000 in my 401k.
Gotcha. So, okay. And then you don't have any money set aside for like long-term care disability, right? God forbid that happened.
No.
Okay. Are you aware of like kind of the statistics that 88% of households go through like some sort of care or nursing home?
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah, it's actually the number one reason people do go bankrupt in retirement. So that we might want to look at something to protect that 401k down the line as well. I don't want to get too lost in the waters, but we work with retirement specialists that are partnered with our company that we educate on how to make sure that 401k is protected, and actually, include assets to leave behind and avoid probate completely. Have you ever heard of the probate system or anything like that?
I think so.
Okay, gotcha. You probably have dealt with it. Don't want to get too lost in the waters. We'll touch on that later. And then last thing here, Jonah, do you have any life insurance in place currently?
No. Oh well, I got a $10,000 policy I took out about, gosh, it's probably 8, 10 years ago now.
8, 10 years ago. Okay. And that is that just like to bury you or cremate you, I'm assuming? Make sure the wife's not burning with that.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, gotcha. That's good that you have those funeral costs in line. Do you know what company that's with by chance? I work with every single insurance company, so do you know what company it is?
I think it's State Farm,
Oh, State Farm. Is that like a bundle and save type policy?
something like that. Yeah.
And then do you have the documents saying that it's gonna last your entire life, or are you not really too sure?
I'm not really too sure. I think it
Okay.
does.
Okay. That's another thing we could touch on, Jonah. Once I help you out with this sort of protection for the home, we can take a look at that life insurance and just review it. Takes about 5 minutes, but okay. So you got some funeral costs in place, but nothing for the mortgage specifically for your wife, right?
Nope.
Okay, no worries at all. Obviously, we kind of touched on this earlier, but if something did happen to you yesterday, Jonah, that situation would look like it'd be pretty tough for the wife financially. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, I mean she'd probably figure it out.
Figure it out, like, and you mean by like figure it out, like she would pick up another job and get out of retirement, or would she have to like use a gold fund me page to like get money?
She'd probably, I don't know, I didn't really think about that. She'd probably, well, we definitely reduce our lifestyle and expenses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Take less vacations, eat out less, cut
Yeah.
back. We have to cut back a little bit.
Yeah, I mean it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, that situation for her, at least for a time period, like when you do pass away would be pretty freaking tough for her, right?
Yeah, you could say that. And
Okay.
and that's kind of why I'm looking to, make sure see if we get the home paid off if I pass
Okay.
away.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, we'll take a look at something for you, and just see what makes sense. I'm assuming, if I found you something practical, affordable, avoids any sort of burden for Claudia if something did happen to you, that would be important for you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. You got that pen and piece of paper. I got your options ready.
Yep.
Bang. Show options. You want me to go through the presentation?
Yeah, you should go keep going. Keep closing.
Okay. Well, you're an equity protection client.
Yep,
Okay, perfect. So you got that pen and piece of paper, Jonah?
I do.
Okay, perfect. So here in the state, we always look at, trying to protect the most amount of coverage for the lowest cost possible. Now, Jonah, I'm sure you could probably imagine, if you wanted to cover that entire mortgage, the full 180,000 that you owe on the home, that would be close to another mortgage payment, if not an arm and a leg to pay for, which obviously we don't want, right?
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So what families do in your situation, Jonah, is they put together what's called an equity protection plan. So on that pen and piece of paper, write down equity protection, and then underneath that, write down the amount of equity that you have in your home, which again is obviously going to continue to grow. So there's obviously going to be more equity that's going to be growing in that property. But 50,000 is what we roughly have it at. Um, Let me know when you got that down.
I got it.
Okay, perfect. So what equity protection is, Jonah, instead of, again, paying an arm and a leg to pay for the entire mortgage, which again, we don't want to do, what every family simply does in your situation is they set up an equity protection plan. And what that means is if like, God forbid, something did happen to you yesterday, the bank is going to be watching your house like a hawk. So what that means is if you were to miss one or even two mortgage payments, Claudia, the bank would just come in and take all the equity in your home, which obviously we don't want, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what equity protection does for you, Jonah, and your family, for Claudia, it's gonna simply buy her time, anywhere from 6 months to 24 months of monthly mortgage payments covered. So that way, in the time of passing, not only does she have enough time to mourn, grieve, and recover, but she's also going to be having time to actually plan for the future financially, without having to fork out, thousands of dollars in her own pocket and also your assets you're leaving behind, to her. This is simply going to make sure the mortgage payment's covered so that way she can get things figured out. And correct me if I'm wrong, but protecting Claudia and avoiding that situation, that would be important for you, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then in the situation of like the God forbid happening, right? Is Claudia's plan to stay in the home or is it to sell it?
Well, we hope. I mean, she'd obviously prefer to stay in the home.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, and then like you mentioned, she's gonna try to figure it out. Sounds like she's a go-getter and wants to make sure she keeps that property and stays in it. And that's exactly what this coverage is gonna do for you. It's gonna make sure that Claudia has that time to make sure that she's able to stay in the home, plan for the future, and not fork out, a ton of money in mortgage payments and potentially miss one. So it avoids the banks, selling your house for pennies on dollars and making a profit. Does that all make sense?
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, perfect. Write down the word whole life never expires. And then underneath that, write down builds cash value, whole life, entire life, never going to expire on you. It's not like term policy where, in 10 years from now, it expires. It's going to last until you're 120 years old. And Jonah, let me tell you, I don't know if you want to live that long, but hey, if you do, it's going to last that long for you. And then what cash value means is it's just like a high interest savings account. Every dollar that you put into this plan, it accrues a little bit of interest. So that way over time and 5, 10, 15 years, you were in a tight financial situation or you just gave me a call and you said, Carson, I don't think I need this protection anymore. We paid off our home, whatever the situation may be. You hit the lotto. You can surrender this and you would claim back a percentage of that cash value paid into it, plus interest. And then the biggest benefit outside of this, Jonah, is that it never goes up on you in price as time goes on. It's called a fixed premium. And this is
Mm,
day one coverage that I'm looking at. So if something happens to you, God forbid, tomorrow, knock on wood, this policy pays out to Claudia guarantee. Does that all make sense? Do you have any questions on that?
mm. Yes, that makes sense.
Okay, perfect. And then the way that this will pay out to your family, it is in a form of a lump sum tax-free check, which is obviously designed to protect your home as well as the equity. But it can also be used towards like any sort of final expense coverage or double as like just basic life insurance for your family, just leaving money behind. Does that all make sense?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay,
That's good to
perfect.
know.
Write down 6, 12, 24, and then um, let's
Okay.
say I gave you 50, 100, 200. Jonah, basically, just want to clarify with you. These are the months of mortgage payments you leave behind to your family when you do, God forbid, pass away. And I'm assuming, as I said, those three options, one or two of those probably stuck out to you the most. Basically, just out of those three, which one does seem the most practical and affordable, but also has the amount of time that you believe Claudia will need to get things figured out?
Can I think about it?
You need to, Jonah. That threw me off. I didn't think you were gonna do that. Sorry. Okay. So you need to think about like which option you want, or is it more so if you even need this protection at all for Claudia?
More so which option I want to go with.
Okay, gotcha. And can I give you my professional recommendation here?
Sure.
Gotcha. Just out of those two, just real quickly for me, or those three, which one does stand out? Are you thinking like the 12 or 6 month plan?
I think probably the year. The
The
year would be a
year?
good amount of
Okay.
time.
So it's just more so if it fits the budget, right? It fits the needs.
Yes.
Okay, so my professional recommendation of what we're going to do today is we're going to submit the request of coverage for the 6 months of mortgage payments. Make sure we can get you approved the coverage so that way something does, God forbid, happen tomorrow. Claudia is at least protected with something rather than nothing, because I'm sure you'd agree with me that some coverage is better than none, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I'm going to pull up that health application, make sure I can get you approved for the 6 month. And at any point after we hang up today, if you want to call me and upgrade this plan, we can absolutely do so. I got your zip code down as 53144. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, perfect. Grab your driver's license number. And then that's the first thing the insurance company asked me for, just to confirm who you are and all that good stuff.
Okay. Bam.
Yeah.
Closed. Closed. Guys, drop some love in the chat for Carson. That was handled that like a friggin' boss. Let's go. Let's
Mhm.
go. If I could point out a few things on that, where number one, you didn't say what we can do or, if you want to. No, it's hey, what we are going to do. Because I
Mhm.
think where agents go wrong, where a lot of agents go wrong is there's two sections where they're looking for feedback and validation in the client, when a lot of times the client is never going to give you that, especially if it feels like it's kind of like if you're in a needy relationship, or like you go to a bar and you're hitting on a girl and she can feel that you need validation from her, it's going to immediately turn her off. It's the same thing with the client. And so a lot of times the client is never going to tell you it's okay to get into the presentation, and a client is never going to tell you it's okay to close the deal. So if you're
Mhm.
waiting for that buy-in, your closing percentage is going to be extremely low. Like, just be nice, tell them what to do. Be nice, tell them what to do. Simple as that. And take control and take authority of the sale. Second thing is, guys, pay attention to Carson's tonality and his track words. In the beginning, I really love what he said, where, he was saying, hey, hey, John, I, I love what I do. And, I want to make sure I'm helping and serving you correctly. Simple stuff like that, like letting the client know, hey, I love what I do. Because does the client want to talk to somebody that has a shitty attitude and low energy, or somebody that loves their job and is genuinely passionate about protecting that family? Saying, hey, I want to make sure I'm serving you correctly. Pay attention to his tonality throughout the process. Think about if Carson said exactly what he said, word for word, but he said it in a different tonality where he's just kind of vibes are low, or he's just talking like this. It's all right, John, what's your date of birth? You're going to lose the client. It's sales is a transfer of energy. So you got to have good energy and good empathy when you're coming through the phones and connecting with these clients. So well done, brother. That was phenomenal.
Absolutely.
That was
Absolutely.
that was phenomenal. And so do you ever how often do you show an equity protection client the full mortgage coverage?
I don't show full mortgage.
That was one thing that I didn't do for the longest time. Dude, I missed so many sales because I went almost a year and a half without, and I would literally argue with people on the phone as to like why they don't need to cover their full mortgage. And if people really wanted to see it, dude, I'd show them the full. Hey, John, write down that first option. The full mortgage coverage is going to be 960 a month. Second option, and like even when I was running in person too, I would put 500, 700, 900 bucks on the table, like thinking, like low key thinking I might get kicked out of this house. Dude, you'd be surprised. It's like some of these clients, they don't even bat an eye.
Yeah.
And and then thirdly, I really like how you handled I really like how you handled the social security benefits, because guys, I can't stress this enough. We talk about this a lot because it's important. You have to know pension, social security, and VA benefits. Okay. It's in the script. Claudia, if you could drop the script, we actually just added a tab under there that has the Social Security and pension benefits. Or if Claudia, if you could drop the training video that we have, um, that's extremely important breaking down their income because I've ran into multiple clients where they think their wife is getting their entire pension or they think their wife is getting their entire Social Security or the VA is paying off my entire home. That is not true. Okay. And so really knowing those benefits and breaking it down, it goes from, oh, I might get this if I could do the full mortgage for under $100 to, oh, wow, my wife is screwed. She
Mhm.
needs this. And we put in place 2 years of mortgage payments for $180 a month. And they're
Yeah.
thankful for the coverage. So you
Mhm.
have to like, guys, I would encourage you go back and rewatch this section where Carson is going through it and all those track words and how methodical he was in building the why. Um, dude, that's so important. So in the last 5 minutes or so here of the call, I want to open it up for questions. So any questions you guys have, drop in the chat. Um, Hannah said, what if they say it's whether they want it or not? How do you
Yeah.
handle that?
Yeah, it obviously depends on situation to situation. Um, I think it's just not presenting to those people. Like you can feel it out. Like if you notice, like during that presentation, like I had so much clarity that no matter what, they were gonna pick an option because like they needed it. They told me yes that they need it without me asking it directly that like, hey, do you need this, right? Now if it's that situation, they tell me like whether they want it or not. Sometimes I'll be blunt. Sometimes I'll ask more questions about it. Just depends on how I connected with the client overall. But let's just say, Jonah said like, it's whether if I don't want it or not. I would just ask him, be like, well, I would just rephrase the same question that I already asked him. Well, John, correct me if I'm wrong, right? If something were to happen to you yesterday, your wife would be down negative $3,000 income every single month. Does that sound about right again? And he tells me yes. I would say, okay, so we need to put something in place here to make sure that no matter what, when she's down negative $3,000 during that time, she's covered. So I would just clarify what I would say if that was the situation. But it's just about not presenting to those people. Like you guys need to start feeling what these clients are like saying to you and like actually like feeling the energy of like if they want it or not. Because it's not about if they want it, it's about if they need it or not. It's not about if they want it, it's about if they need it or not. And I primarily sell equity protection. So it's just like it's the easiest sale ever, I think.
What percentage of your sales would you say is equity protection?
70 to 75.
75. Yeah, 70 to 75, most of the clients. So, guys, if you're
Yeah.
watching this and you're not incredibly confident in your equity protection process, like get confident because that's the majority of the clients we're talking to. Chris
Yeah.
Diaz said, hide your grandmas from Carson.
Yeah. Anyone over 65, that's my favorite.
Let's go. And I can relate with that too because it's equity protection went from being my most dreaded sale. In the beginning, I hated it. I was like, oh dude, like not another equity protection. And truthfully, it was two things. A, because I wasn't fully confident in my sales process. And then B, transparently, I didn't fully believe in it. And I remember, and I've shared this before, but a lot of you haven't heard this, where I remember it so vividly. This was like 4 years ago. I was a few months in as a brand new agent. And when I was running in homes, and I sat down with this lady, and when I called her, she told me verbatim, she said, "Hey, no bother. I've already had 6 other people come over. I can't afford it. No point in coming over. I'm not interested." And I was able to convince her to let me come over and let me in the home. And she even tried to porch me, but I was able to rebuttal her and get in there and I sat down and I don't know if nobody had explained it properly or nobody had showed her equity protection. I'm not really sure, but I
Mhm.
went through and I was very methodical in my process and really painted the picture and did the whole thing. And when I presented it to her, dude, she was so thankful and so
Mhm.
happy. And at the end, like she literally hugged me and no joke, she teared up a little bit and
Mhm.
she's still on the books and I still have her saved in my phone. I got a picture with her and like Just the sweetest lady. She was 73. Her name was Margaret. She was in Racine, Wisconsin. And yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, your home turf, baby.
Mhm.
Racine, Wisconsin, and just like a mile from the lake, really cool area. Um, and it really struck me. I remember driving back from her home thinking, wow, like equity protection, it's because to us, it's, oh, what's a 10, 20, what is a $30,000 policy? What's that going to do? But to these clients, that's life-changing income. So it went from, oh shoot, this is another equity protection deal to I realized that lady, not only did she have she had no assets. Her house was her only asset. She was on
Mhm.
Social Security, fixed income, no savings. And at the end of the day, she just wanted the peace of mind knowing that when something happened to her, that the home was going to go to her kids, it was going to be taken care of, and it was okay. So being
Absolutely.
able to like really believe in it and pitch it effectively, guys, that's essential. That's essential for this business. That's huge. Um, let's see what other questions we got. Chase said, "How do you afford to keep moving when they're dead broke?"
I don't sell to dead broke people.
Yep.
I just fire them.
I think he was talking about yourself. How do you keep moving whenever you're dead broke?
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's good, dude.
that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good question. Dude, just like simply if I don't quit, like I'm gonna figure it out. Like if I don't give up, I'm gonna figure it out. Like and just like full heartedly believe it. Like not just saying it in the freaking mirror, not just like kind of believe it, like full heartedly believe that you can do this and just keep at it.
For me, Charlie Munger's got a really great quote. He said, "If you can invert, always invert." And what he means by that is I like to think of the opposite of a lot of scenarios. So if you guys are completely broke, well, think of the opposite situation where think about if I had $1 million in my bank account right now, would I be more motivated or less motivated to help these families and keep pushing? And if the answer is less motivated, then instead of looking at it as a hindrance or as a crutch, look at it as fuel. Like, dude, I'm broke, so I'm going to grind as hard as I need to grind in order to get myself out of this financial position. Because the truth is, where a lot of people fail or a lot of people go wrong, it's not when they're new, or it's when they finally start doing good. They get complacent, let off the gas, take a 2 week vacation, get some chargebacks, get into a negative mindset, and they've run themselves out of the business. That is
100,
the real devil to
100%,
be aware of. Is
100.
not necessarily when you're doing bad, but when you're doing good to keep your foot on the gas. What else we got? What's one habit or mindset switch that changed you and helped you to be in the position you are today?
Habit, doing what I'm saying I'm gonna do every single day. Mindset, believing in everything that I'm doing and believing that everything will work out in the greater good and that God's got my back, most importantly.
Amen to that. How do you know if they're an equity protection client? What are the variables you look for? Age, health, income.
And I mean everything that he just said.
Yep. Mainly health.
Yeah,
If they qualify for an IUL or a term, help them out with that. If not, equity
100%.
protection. Uh, ooh, it's good. When you went 0 for 17, what was the biggest shift in your mindset and process that helped you get to where you're at today? That's a good one.
Oh, double. Oh, man. I mean, I would say mindset was just keep going. If I just keep going, like I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna run into the one family. But my biggest like mindset process like mix was that I would look at my list of leads and I would say one family needs Carson Widmar's help, and I would just repeat that over and over again, and it just gave me so much peace.
And elaborating off of that, Thomas asked, how do you bounce back after a bad week and what changes do you make? I like the second part to that. That's good.
Yeah, that's good. I honestly, I just went through kind of a bad week. Obviously, I have higher expectations for myself now, being in the business now for almost a full year. And I got off of like I got went from Summit. I didn't get to go to the lock-in. Had other business to do, and then I didn't go to the lock-in, right? So everyone has all this energy, everyone's ripping all these deals, and then like I came in the week of after that, and I only did like 5K, and I was just like, man, dude, like, fuck, man, like that's not where I need to be at. There's a lot of presentations I missed, and like the biggest change I made was just like going back to like my roots of just like going back to the basics of like taking my time with the script because 9 times out of 10 for me, if I don't have a big week, it's because I'm not working hard enough, and it's because I'm rushing the process and I have commission breath. So it's like reframing that to, okay, I need to help a family out to get paid. So that solves that issue. And then number two is that there's so many hours in the day. I just need to utilize all of them.
So good. Last question for you, and this is a personal question, and more so for myself, just out of curiosity. Um, shout First of all, shout out in the new office. The views are phenomenal.
Yeah, it's fire. There's like a mountain
You,
over
I
there.
love it. Because you just moved into an office, so
Yeah,
do you find yourself being more productive in an office than sitting in the bullpen?
1,010%. I'm
Yeah.
like, I mean, not okay. So let me rephrase that. Yes, but the bullpen has stupid energy when the office is locked in. That's for damn sure. Like when it's like everyone's locked in, everyone's like ripping. I love the bullpen. But the office is definitely given me a lot of perspective on like of just like taking my time with things and not rushing things, and then also just like spending way more time with my agents, and then also developing a lot of things on the back end to grow my business. So it's been helping me work in the business a lot more and then outside the business a lot more.
Nice. At what point do you think it makes sense for an agent to upgrade and take out the extra expense to pay for an office?
I'd say when you got, 30 racks just saved, just sitting there. I'd also say when you're consistently depositing 20 grand at minimum. And just when you just have undeniable proof that you can do this.
Yeah. And that's for anybody that's new or not in the best financial position, that should be every single one of your goals is I am going, and and I'm telling you guys, because this is exactly what I did. It's exactly what Carson did and countless other individuals is 30 grand is a good benchmark where I am going to grind as hard as I need to grind and work as hard as I possibly can and stay in the office as late as I need to be and show up as early as possible until I get to that $30,000 of income. Because when you're broke and you're just you can't think long term. Like you're just thinking day to day, week to week, oh, I need to pay my rent. And like you're just in this low energy, low mind, scarcity mindset. And when you have that cushion in your bank account of about $30,000, you're able to operate on a much higher frequency. You're less stressed, you've got a better mindset, and you're able to think long term because dude, I got 6 months, I got a year of bills saved up. It's like I got my rent for the next year. Bam. It's saved up there. So you can think a lot bigger and you're not having to think just this low mind day-to-day mindset. So that's important where you guys, anybody that's brand new or struggling financially is guys, make your goal. I need to get $30,000 in my bank account and never let it get below that $30,000. So, dude, this has been one of the best tactical team calls I think we've ever had, for sure, in a long time. So, dude, this was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Carson,
And I got one more
anything?
thought. Yeah.
Yeah, close us out, brother.
Yeah, one more thought. You're literally like kill your 1.0 version of yourself. Um, Stick to a schedule. Um, and like when I mean kill your 1.0 version of yourself, your 1.0 version of yourself is the old you that you left behind when you joined this business. The 2.0 version is you developing into that person. You're never actually going to achieve that 2.0 version. You'll have phases of achieving that and like seeing that, but your 2.0 version is the constant, never ending cycle of you becoming who you want to be.
Mm,
Work
so
as
well
hard as
said.
possible. Outwork everyone, and hard work beats talent. Obsession beats talent. You can have all the talent in the world, but are you willing to work harder than anyone else? And that's all I got.
Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Guys, let's make it a week. Don't forget March Madness. Let's go hard. Reach out if you need anything. Peace.